Hi friends, thanks for joining me. Today I've got a process video for you using the fabulous March kits, and oh my goodness, I think this is my favourite kit ever. But I'm using a little bit from probably most of the kits plus some of the colour kit. Now let me just tell you before I carry on, if you haven't already ordered the colour kit, go and nab yourself one right now because those stamps are just everything. So yeah, go head to the website and make sure you grab yours because it will sell out for definite. Anyhow, I am going to use that beautiful paper with the stunning flowers, and let me tell you, if you are not a regular subscriber of Hip Kit Club, what are you doing? You need to go and get this one this month because what a unique combination of the simple stories, beautiful exclusive papers, and these papers are just stunning. So yeah, let me tell you about the process. I have ripped that flower paper because I really like the edge of it. But I couldn't just use it on its own because that's not very designer, is it really? So I have ripped that down the side there, going along the curve, and I really envisaged my background on top of that stripy paper. In fact, I think it's a horizontal stripe, but I love the way that you've got those little pinstripes going down and that pink kind of mixed media section. And then I saw on one of the other papers there were these like coffee ring marks, and I wanted to produce that. So I've used one of the ink pads from the colour kit, and in fact I think this was the February colour kit, and they are fantastic for light mixed media. So they are water based, so you can dilute them down and really create some fantastic solutions with that. So having been inspired by the papers, I've used a little cup, but you could use a jar, or I don't know, I've tried jars of different sizes, and I've tried different methods of adding the ink. I think you definitely want to dilute that ink so you've got a soft coffee ring style, because if you just use the ink neat, then you'll end up with a very good impression because it's a really good ink and the ink will just transfer directly. So if you water it down, then you will get those lovely coffee ring marks. So I've also used those brush mark ink, stamps to add some further colour to the background, and I can't wait to use these in sort of more in more on my next layout because I think I had a really clear vision for this layout, and so there wasn't going to be a lot of mixed media. Also on that stamp set in the colour kit then is these coffee splashes, or the little ink splashes. And again, I've just wanted to pick up on the background paper. There were some black ink marks on there, so I really kind of wanted to bring that out. Now, I've had some complete disasters with black paint splashing it onto my layout. It just goes everywhere. I have no control. This is really going to solve your problems. So if you're like me, you love the look of mixed media, but you're a bit clumsy, this would be the solution for you because you can absolutely control where your ink, your paint is going, and really get that look, but be in total control of it. So moving on, I have got that main border there, and I thought I wanted another piece behind it. So don't forget, on your cardstock kit, the front cover also has one of the pretty cardstocks on there, so you can always use that because it's the same weight of paper. I used mine, and then really I hadn't cut it wide enough, so I'm going to use one of the actual pieces of cardstock. And this month the cardstock has got a lovely delicate kind of pattern. I'm just trying to describe it in my head. It's kind of a geometric kind of flower tile pattern. It's very, very light, very subtle, but it just gives it that bit of an edge, really, I think. And look how perfectly it matches up with the background. So, you know, it's just so cool having the exact right ingredients that you need for layouts. So I'm going to mount my photos. Although I knew what I wanted to do, I did and ah as to, you know, how to place things. So really, I kind of just needed to get on with it and glue things down. So I've mounted my photos onto some of the pattern paper. In fact, it's the reverse of that flower paper there. So there's like kind of a warm yellow colour underneath. And rather than just being the general pink, probably, which is what I'd normally do, I've picked up on that yellow because it's kind of an orangey yellow that's in that bouquet and the corrugated card that you can see on that main focal point. And I also cut out some of those beautiful flowers on one of the papers this month. Oh my goodness, it's my absolute favourite paper. It is so pretty. So I did feel bad about cutting it out, but the flowers are just gorgeous. So I'm just flicking through. My kit only arrived yesterday. I didn't have a lot of time to, you know, stroke the kit because I needed to get on. It's probably a good idea really because, you know, I can sit and stroke all day and then not get anything done. So how lucky are we that we've got these transfers, the rub-ons in the embellishment kit, absolutely beautiful. They are the Vintage Blooms by Simple Stories, but I really like this particular one I'm using here because it's more of a background feature, so a little bit mixed media, a bit of stamping. And again, you know, if you worry about mixed media but love the look of it, rub-ons are the way to go. Because again, you've got that full control, but look how realistic it looks. And, you know, it would have taken some time to get that same look yourself. So absolutely perfect. There's not a paper I dislike, you know, because I love this one with the library tags on. Hello, I could just have sheets and sheets of that, please, as well. So Kimberly and Kim, if you're listening, you know, hint, hint, can we have some more, please? This layout itself came together really quickly for me. Well, I say quickly, it's quickly for me, just because I think I'd got a clear vision, absolutely love a bit of fussy cutting, a bit of vintage, you know, so I think they must have created this kit just for me because it has got all my favourite things in there. And look at these butterflies. I'm sorry, I'm like a kid in a sweet shop because it's just delightful. And I know you'll know that anyway because if you're a fan of Hip Kit Club, you know that the girls put so much effort into creating something unique every month and they've really knocked it out of the ballpark. So originally I think my photos were going, or my main photo would go under that border. And I wanted to just add a little bit of texture. I know I've got a fair bit of texture, but I do like more different types of texture. So I'm just going to use some waxed thread onto just to give it you know, another texture, but it's kind of light, so nothing too heavy. So rather than wind it around the page, which would be a lot simpler, I'm just going backwards and forwards onto the front. So I've got 3 layers of twine. And I'm just positioning my photos. I always love to use 2 photos if I can. I don't know about you, I tend not to use 6x4 photos because I really like the look of 3x4. And what that means is if I put 2 photos on a 6x4 page, a 6x4 paper rather, and I print them myself, then I've doubled my output effectively. So, or halved my cost of my photo, whichever way you want to look at it. So those fussy cut flowers, I've had some poking out of those layers on the left there. I absolutely love how that's turned out. And then I cut out one of the larger flower bunches, and that's going below my photo. And I think that's how I'm going to have it really. The library card's just being tucked underneath. But I do move that die cut. Just picking out some of the pieces, the die cut pieces. They're by Pink Fresh Studio, and they're in the main kit this month. So again, you know, who would think to put vintage blooms and what's the name of that collection? The Pink Fresh together. I mean, that's just genius, isn't it? It's called Chrysanthemum. So yeah, you wouldn't think to put those two together, but somehow the girls have pulled it off expertly. And I think the trick to it is personally is there's kind of pink elements in the vintage blooms through lilacs and purples, through to yellows. So I think, you know, if you're going to mix it with the Pink Fresh stuff, which tends to be more pink and oranges and greens, that you just use the pieces together. So you might be more dominated by the vintage blooms or the Pink Fresh, or pick the papers in the collection and start from there, because it all goes together so well, and you'll just end up with something you're so unique, because the only place you can get it is at Hip Kit Club. So how marvellous. So while I was nattering, I've used one of the die cuts then from Pink Fresh, as I say, and I've fussy cut a couple of those little butterflies. I kind of feel bad because the mixed media on those butterflies, the ink and the paint effect on them is just to die for. But of course you cut out some of it as you're fussy cutting. So the girls must be so good at graphic design to come up with things like that. I'm very jealous. So I've trimmed down that library ticket a little bit just to squish it in. I had stamped those, you know, ink splats below, and I didn't really want to cover it all up. I picked out a couple of the die cuts. I think that was from the main kit, Pink Fresh Studio, just to tuck behind my photo. So I was really going for that kind of textured look, really. So I've had a little break, and I'm just going to finish off now with a bit of decorating. You see that little tiny piece of blue paper up there on top of the photo? That was left over from my fussy cutting. The background of that paper is this kind of pale blue. It's got maybe some, you know, like office paper behind. It was such a pretty colour, and I got it left over, so I thought, why not? I'll just tuck it in behind my photo. It's another layer. It's a little pop of the blue colour, because I didn't have that much blue. So yeah, kind of look at your supplies and your leftover bits and pieces, and you'll be surprised, just, you know, by tucking in that extra bit. It just adds a bit more detail, doesn't it? So actually, thinking about it, I am on Throwback Thursday, so that means I can use some of the past kits. So I did use the ink, the blue ink that I used earlier was from the Feburary colour kit, and these letters are from the Feburary Pocket Life kit. I love the size of these letters. It means you can make really big titles, or you can you know, do some journaling. Just a lot of fun, and you know, they're really well stocked as well. So I had an idea about putting some title or journaling down that centerpiece, and I've picked out a quote that was actually by Walt Disney. If you can dream it, you can do it. And I'm really into personal development at the moment, so that's in the forefront of my mind, about just getting on and do things, you know, stop the procrastination, which I am very good at. Well, I used to be very good at. I am no longer very good at it because I just get on with it. So it's working. And then I've used the alphas from this month's kit as well, just to mix those in. Yeah, I thought it was just a nice way to highlight some words, really. It's a kind of message to my daughter. She was 16, I think, when I took these photos. So in the last 3 years, she's changed so much, as I think all teenagers do. I'm so proud of her, but so at the time, I think, you know, she's probably a little bit self-conscious, as kids are at that age. So, you know, wondering what she's going to be doing with her life. So yeah, I think it's just a nice way to look back on things and send that message when they can appreciate it a little bit more, I think. So I'm almost done. I'm just going to add a few little stitches here and there, just because I can. I did go off and try and find some thread to match, but I really hadn't got one to... I wanted a kind of a cerise pink, but the cerise I'd got was really like in your face cerise, so it had been too bright. So I'm just going to use a bit more of that twine to add a little stitch detail. So I'm going to leave you with the close-ups while I finish this off, and I really hope that you have a look at your kits. I'm sure you do. You kind of know that you can mix and match things from previous kits, but head over to the website to really look at the March kits if you haven't got them all already. I would definitely head over to the website and grab your colour kit, because those stamps and ink pads are not going to hang around for a long time, and you definitely need them in your life. I hope you have enjoyed the process and like the layout as much as I do. It is definitely one of my favourites, and hopefully I'll see you on the next video. So take care now, and see you next time. Bye.